Hello out there, all you beautiful souls. I'm Samantha and this is the Sage Witch Mooncast. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the Oldhams for their donation on buymeacoffee.com. If you like what I do here and want to support the show, you can also make a donation by following the link in the description box. I'm still working on creating a membership for my account on buymeacoffee.com, and I'm hoping to have that done in probably the next month or so. And through that membership, you will get access to exclusive content and be able to do things like ask me questions or be involved in group conversations or something to that effect. So keep an eye out for that, and I will let you know when it's up and running. So with all that being said, let's get started. Oh, one more thing. Before we really get started, if things sound a little different, it's because this is my first podcast being recorded in my new studio, something I'm very excited about. And I will hopefully be sharing updates on that as I kind of curate this space. Okay, so let's really get started. There is a fine line to be walked in witchcraft. On one hand, we need to recognize our personal power, cultivate it, and use it. On the other hand, it's easy to get caught up in an ego trap if you take this idea too far. So, where's the happy medium? While I am not one to lay judgment at the feet of other witches, I also feel, because of my experience, it is okay for me to voice my opinion on witchcraft and the community. By social media standards, I'm practically an old lady, and you know what? I'll take it. And as always, if you like what I have to say, take it with you. And if not, leave it behind. I have seen a lot of ego-driven witchcraft on social media. I've seen altars carefully curated not for their magical power, but for their aesthetic appeal and likes. There are more heavily filtered 30-second spells out there than I can shake a wand at. And we are living in a very unique age, a technological age, and we are more connected than we ever have been. And our attention spans are far shorter than they once were. But without that technology, you wouldn't be listening to me today. Why pour through stacks of books when you can just find the spell you want on Reels or TikTok? But I would warn against oversimplifying witchcraft. That's not to say we shouldn't have fun with our craft, just that we should recognize there is so much more to it than what can fit into a 1-minute video. Much of the ego-driven witchcraft I've seen comes in the form of protection spells. In many of these short clips, I see witches performing protective rites in case someone sends them a curse or bad vibes. And I have to say, it seems just a little paranoid to think someone is sitting in their home actively hexing you. And maybe even more importantly, it's a fearful mindset that allows you to think it would actually work in the first place. Frankly, I have much more important things to worry about than what Becky down the street thinks of me. It has been my experience that if you are to become influenced by another, it will be by their actions and what they align themselves to. This also works in the reverse. What one aligns himself with will also dictate their actions. While I don't snub my nose at wearing a protective amulet if I'm going into a place with distasteful energy, But I find the best protection spell is simply not to associate with people that don't offer you respect, or even worse, actively work to sabotage you. Now, I know this is not always possible. For some of us, it is the folks closest to us that present the most influence. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a coworker. Your best bet is to put on that amulet, set some good healthy boundaries, and go about your day. One of the most powerful spells I have ever uttered is simply the word no. Besides, if you spend all your energy focused on that one person, they've already cursed you. They may have stolen your energy unintentionally, but you are willingly giving it to them. As far as I'm concerned, if you are practicing protection magic with a specific person in mind, and without first having a dialogue with them, you're just being passive-aggressive, and there's no room for that in a healthy craft. I've also seen this ego projected onto deities. Many claims of, don't do this or you'll anger them, and then X, Y, or Z might happen. How silly it is for us to project that kind of attitude onto gods and goddesses. I can't help but feel like this is a holdover of Christian thinking that if you anger God, he will smite you. Even if the gods and goddesses were literal beings, I'm sure they would have more important things to worry about than if you use the perfect herb in your spell bag. To me, and I've said this many times before, the gods are personifications of different energies and happenings in our lives. Not some omniscient, moody parent figure sitting on their throne in the clouds waiting for you to screw up. They're there to help and to teach. Some are more mischievous in their ways, but rarely are they so petty as to micromanage your rituals. Our ancestors protected themselves magically from very real threats and called upon various gods and goddesses for their aid. They protected themselves against disease, famine, weather, drought, and other natural occurrences. They didn't feel the need to protect themselves from their barista's evil eye. The concerns of our ancestors were very real things that threatened their survival. Having a healthy witchcraft practice is like being a good defensive driver. There are a lot of other cars on the road, and occasionally you might have to get out of their way. Unless you're in some kind of Mad Max situation, the chances someone is intentionally driving into you are pretty slim. Maybe the other car didn't see you, or the driver is preoccupied with something in their lives. You are a good defensive driver because you are aware of your surroundings and keep your vehicle in good working order. Not because you thought perhaps the car next to you was going to drive into you, so you bashed into them first. You are a good witch for the same reasons. You are aware of your own energies and the energies of others around you, as well as have a solid foundation from which to work from. But the most important part is simply being aware of yourself. We are powerful because we belong to the cosmos. Every last one of us. Taking on the mantle of a witch is recognizing that power. But we are all connected and share those cosmic origins. It is up to us to decide how we will align ourselves. A wise witch will seek to find a balance in all things. And I encourage you to think bigger. Think beyond yourself. far into the world and well into the cosmos. I will leave you today with a Serbian proverb. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. That is about all I have for today. Thank you all for listening, and I wish you nothing but the best season.